Alright guys, welcome to a new series called X Character Hit or Miss. Basically in this series I just list a character and I go on an unscripted, unfiltered, opinionated speech, I guess you could say, on what I think about the character and whether they were good or bad for the season. And our first candidate is going to be the woman who probably has the absolute best performance in all of season 6, and that is the GOAT Tori Nichols. Now, Tori at the start of the season, while she doesn't do much, it's mainly just patching things up with Sam. And I actually really liked the fact that her and Sam were not immediately friends yet. Miguel and Robbie, like, they just fought it out once and then they became friends, basically, just from hashing things out. But for their circumstance, it was a little bit different because there was literally a baby on the way, so I think you could get away with that. But Sam and Tori, if you had them be friends right off the start of season 6, it would be a chronically bad move. Like, I'm telling, like, terrible move. So I'm very glad that at the start they still show some hesitation to each other, and the fact that they hold back on each other during fighting because they don't want to rehash everything from the past. I really like that, and I'm glad they went on a route like this. Now, when Tori helps Sam take down Kenny and Sean, or well, mainly Kenny, but yeah, I do really like the fact that she does give like a slightly hesitant look at first about Sam's like talking about Miyagi-Do, but then I like how after Sam gives her credit for picking up Miyagi-Do quickly, she very easily like switches over because I mean I guess it's finally a non-toxic environment. But I think we should move on from that now and talk about their making up scene. Now, originally when the sleepover happened, aside from Johnny being at a teenage girl sleepover, which is really odd, the fact that they were having like silly ass girl time, at first I thought it was gonna be like a really big miss. But then after that, they had the scene where they actually like talk things out like normal human beings and work things out. I am so glad they had this scene. This is low-key one of my favorite scenes in the season. Like, it's very well done, as up until now, the beef mainly spiked from lack of context. Like, Sam kissing Miguel, she was drunk, yada yada. And I guess Sam never really understood why Tori hated her so much until Tori reminded her that she kind of started the beef. Where Sam and Tori, they finally apologized to each other.
I'm sorry.
I'm sorry too.
This scene is really good. Like, it is absolutely amazing. Because at last, we finally have scenes of characters talking to each other. And it shows that with context, problems can get solved very easily. On to the later half of the season, which is where I think Tori is the strongest. Now, Tori very easily secures her spot in the Sekai Taikai, which is obviously expected, right? Like, there was nothing unexpected about that other than Hawk not being on the team initially, but yeah. There is now my biggest problem, I guess you could say, with Tori. Now, this isn't even really a Tori problem, but it's the fact that this one scene with Kreese right here is apparently enough to make her go back to Kreese. Like I understand that they needed a reason for her to go back, but this one scene with Kreese, I'm really not convinced that just because somebody told her that, oh, they're always gonna pick LaRusso over you, then like there's literally one example of this, and it's taken from when she's at an angry headset to switch over to Kreese. It's really weird. I would have liked it if they showed a few examples of the LaRussos actually like favoring Sam. Like, for example, like when they're kicking the dummy with like all the countries on it, right? Tori does a way stronger kick than Sam, but maybe Sam gets more compliments or something like that, you know? It's just I'm not convinced that this one scene with Kreese was able to convince Tori enough, I guess, to the point where Tori would literally rejoin a dojo that she like literally had to fight demons to survive before. And that is honestly my only miss with Tori. Just kidding, there's actually a bit more, but we'll get to that a little later. Now, Tori and Robbie this season is of kind of an odd relationship. I'm not gonna lie. Like before, in seasons before, I really liked this relationship because it was actually like genuine and built off of two characters that really didn't have much other than each other and trying to win the All Valley tournament so they can have something. But this season, they just don't really do anything. Like they go on a double date, right? And then Robbie has this one really good scene with Tori where he says that like they should stand on the podium side by side. And it's a very meaningful scene. I love that scene. When then tragedy hits when Tori's mom was killed due to a blood clot that they didn't even know was forming. And I do feel really bad for Tori in this, but this is like, although it's tragic, this is by far Tori's like strongest point. Alright, like Peyton List's acting in this season was absolutely phenomenal. Like I'm talking, I think she would literally did the best out of anybody, right? You know, the way she portrays her grief, it makes you really feel for her. Like originally when she got beat up by Sam, right? You don't feel anything. Like you don't feel anything. But the way Tori projects her sadness when her mom died, it really hits you harder than you actually may have originally thought it did. Now at this point, Tori makes it very clear that she's fighting for a real big purpose now. At first, she wanted to win just to have something kind of like Robbie, right? Which is not a terrible reason, but honestly, the thing about her fighting for her mom is a million times better.
It's okay, sweetie. Life dealt us a bad hand. But we can change that. Because we're fighters now.
Because we see that if her mom were still here, she would want Tori to fight. You know, that's why she has her breakdown when the LaRussos tell her to stop the fight. Now this is right here is literally one of the best scenes in the show. They do portray that the LaRussos are biased towards Sam in this, although I don't really think that's what they were trying to do, because they even had Amanda step in, and we know Amanda's not a very biased person. But Tori still has her breakdown, but this is honestly the second, I guess you could quote unquote say, bad thing, is that Tori's departure from Miyagi-Do was built up all in like one episode. I know this was kind of similar to what I said before about Tori, like Kreese's one statement not really being convincing enough, but this is to basically add on to it, right? You could definitely get away with Kreese's statement being the only thing that makes her switch sides, I guess, but you can't really get away with the fact that she literally leaves like in one episode. She's there and then she leaves in one episode, right? I think it still would have been better if they hashed out between episodes, like after Sam and Tori make up, maybe it's not even Sam that drives her away, right? Like it doesn't have to be Sam. It could literally just be someone else doing something she doesn't like. I'm not here to like give advice on how to film the show, obviously, but that's just my personal opinion. And then Tori switches over to Cobra Kai finally, and she is the female captain, presumably for the Sekai Taikai. Now, what do I think of Tori? She is like obscenely good this season. Before, she was kind of like a character that was just there to be a rival for Sam, I guess. But finally, like in the past few seasons, they made her like an actual character, which makes me so happy, right? Because I always liked Tori. I mean, some people didn't like her in the previous seasons, but you could never deny that before she was kind of like a character that's just portrayed to be like an angry character. But now we finally have like somebody that maybe some people can actually relate to. Tori has gone through a lot of things this season so far, She's made up with Sam. She's training Miyagi-Do. She's lost her mom. She got angry at the LaRussos. She probably, for now, split up with Robbie. And there's just a lot of things that happened to her this season, but that they are absolutely perfect for her character. She is no doubt like the MVP of the kids this season, and I cannot wait for what she's gonna do next. Overall, was Tori Nichols a hit or miss? She was definitely a hit, right? She was probably the best part of season 6. I'm not gonna lie. I know this is gonna make Miguel and Robbie Glazers really angry, but she was literally just better than them this season, bro. Anyways, thank you guys for watching, and I'm gonna try to make some of these videos occasionally because I really do like just talking about the show. Anyways, guys, stay healthy, get rich, go to the gym, and yeah, I'll see you guys next time.